Odd done in 1 minute and 59 seconds. Subtitle is in the outputs folder. Alpha 1 facts about the USA. London 1 facts about the USA. You will be surprised, but the area of the United States of America is 947,593 square kilometers, placing the country fourth in the world in terms of area, behind only Russia, Canada, and China. In terms of Canada, a USA, of course, lags behind but still holds its third place in the world. It is home to 335 234 60 people. Interestingly, 9% of the country's population lives on credit. Every seventh resident of America has 7 or more credit cards. If you thought everyone in the USA speaks English, that is far from the truth. English, or rather its American variant, is not even legally established. It is spoken by 78% of the population. Only for this reason it is used everywhere possible. English, motherfucker, do you speak it? It's all about the history of the USA, as it was initially just another not very large colony of England. The authorities could exile prisoners there, and ordinary people from all over the world came to America to do free business, or simply to start a new life. England noticed that something was brewing and began to strictly control the activities of people in what was still its colony. However, in 1776, the War of Independence occurred, after which the United States of America was formed. States are like our regions, but they have a bit more rights. There are 50 of them in the country. Gradually, starting from 1776, new states joined the country. The last time this happened was in 1959, when Hawaii became a full part of the USA. Each state has its unique nature, by which it can be distinguished from others, so some Americans do not even leave their country. After all, by going to another state, they simply find themselves in a different culture, different fauna, flora, and so on. And Alaska, one of the northernmost states of the USA, once belonged to Russia. It was sold in 1867 for an insane amount at that time of $7.2 million. By the way, Alaska can boast the longest coastline, more than 10,000 kilometers. It is in this state that the harshest climate compared to the rest of the country. States can pass laws that will only apply on their territory. For example, in Arizona, you will be fined if you put a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. Yes, in a real bathtub. And in Alabama, there is a strict ban on putting ice cream in your pocket. Yes, it happens. Americans are workaholics. Many come to work at 6 a.m. and do not feel discomfort leaving the office closer to midnight. In the states of New York and Pennsylvania, there are communities of Amish and Mennonites, known for their complete rejection of the blessings of civilization. America is considered one of the main countries fighting for democracy, but it is interesting that women in the United States gained the right to vote only in 1920. The indigenous population of America is Native Americans, but they only became official citizens after 1924. The national motto of the country is, "In God We Trust." There is also no officially established religion in the USA. After all, freedom of choice of faith is paramount. The dollar is the most convertible currency in the world. More than 35 million banknotes of various denominations are issued daily. The right to print money is held by held banks that are part of the Federal Reserve System, and the paper for dollar bills is produced by a single company. Every fifth dollar from paid taxes is spent on the defense industry and military needs. On the $100 bill is Benjamin Franklin, a person who is not a president of the USA. It turns out that Benjamin Franklin was a woman. The most densely populated state is New Jersey. The most urbanized is California. The USA is the world's largest consumer. American citizens consume about 4% of the world's resources. In 1636, the very first university in the USA, known to this day as Harvard, was founded. Fortunately, it is now in 2023, and to become a highly paid specialist, you do not need to spend 4 years knocking on the university's door. You need IT, you thought, right? But only with relevant knowledge and professions, which is exactly what the educational platform Scalebox provides. There are 3 specializations to choose from: machine learning specialist, data engineer, and data analyst. In addition to all the knowledge, to get a job within 6 months after training and earn from 200,000 rubles within 2 years, you will learn to collect allies' data, solve non-standard tasks independently, create forecasting models, and train neural networks. It's great that throughout the training, you will be helped by a mentor. They will point out mistakes, help understand complex topics, and answer all questions. The authors and speakers of the course are not just anyone in the industry, they are experts from large IT companies. Upon completion of the course, the platform guarantees you help with employment or will refund the tuition fee. Although, according to statistics, even before the end of the course, 90% of students find a job. You will also supplement your portfolio with final projects and receive a certificate of course completion. And the cherry on top, the first payment is only after 6 months, and 1 year of English language training is included for free. Follow the link in the description or scan this QR code now, and the promo code ZERAS1 will give you a 55% discount. Act now. But we continue. What is considered a denunciation in Belarus, Russia, and all of Europe is considered vigilance in America. Seeing something or someone suspicious in a neighbor's yard, Americans, without hesitation, will call the police. One of the traits of the mentality of the inhabitants of the USA is hyper-patriotism. Modern Americans consider themselves descendants of the founding fathers, who with their blood and sweat won independence for the country. Only 51% of the U.S. population is in a legal marriage. In this regard, about 40% of children are born out of wedlock, and more than 6% of women and men suffer from obesity. Cheese for the stinky, mums, cheese for the chubby. And it's no surprise as Americans consume 150 million hot dogs daily and eat more ice cream than any other nation. Philadelphia is the very first capital of America. The name of the city in Greek translation sounds like brotherly love. The colors of the U.S. flag fully coincide with the colors of the Russian flag. Each of the three colors used in the U.S. state flag symbolizes certain qualities that are the basis of the state. Red symbolizes valor and endurance, blue symbolizes diligence, justice, and vigilance, and white symbolizes innocence and purity. By the way, the number of these stars on the flag is equal to the number of U.S. states. And the number of stripes symbolizes the number of colonies that formed the independent state of the USA. Now you will be amazed. The design of the country's modern flag was invented by a 17-year-old teenager. The drawing was a school homework assignment, for which, by the way, he received a C. The highest temperature of 56 degrees was recorded in the state of California in Death Valley, and the lowest was 62 in Alaska. The state of Virginia has produced more presidents than any other state. Almost every family in America has a car, and most families have more than one car. To be precise, only a fraction of our families do not have a car. The rest of the not-Hellersen have one. If you look at our planet from space, the brightest spot will be Las Vegas. Casino activities have been allowed on the territory of Nevada since 1931. It is there that Las Vegas, the unofficial capital of casinos and gambling, is located. Interestingly, this was initially done to replenish the state budget, which needed money to build public schools. There are no clocks or windows in any of the casinos in Las Vegas. Staff is forbidden to wear watches and answer questions like, "What time is it?" All this, of course, is done so that visitors forget about time and spend as much time and lose as much money as possible in the establishment. According to statistics, the number of residents of Nevada, where the world's mountain capital is located, is approximately equal to the number of slot machines in Las Vegas. These machines bring Nevada about $10 billion annually. Lagas arose by pure chance. In 1829, a trade caravan traveling from Texas to California lost its way. People dying of thirst managed to find a source of fresh water and named this place Las Vegas, which means fertile valleys in Spanish. It is here in Nevada that the famous Area 51 is located, a deeply secret territory belonging to the American government. One of the most recognizable symbols of the USA, the Statue of Liberty, was a gift from France. It is also interesting that its architect was the future creator of the Eiffel Tower, Gustave Eiffel. The USA is in the top 3 popular tourist destinations in the world. In the USA, there is a Four Corners Monument, which is located in a unique place at the intersection of 4 American states, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. The USA is the largest economy in the world, with a GDP of about 23 trillion. The first film in the world was presented in 1894 in New York. The screening was conducted using a kinetoscope invented by Thomas Edison. The following year, the second film in the world was shown in the same city. The USA has the longest network of highways in the world, as well as the longest system of railway branches. The USA is the only developed country that does not provide its citizens with free medical care. A study by Harvard scientists showed that annually, due to the lack of money for medical insurance, nearly 45,000 residents die. The United States is the country with the highest number of prisoners. By 2012, for every 100,000 Americans, there were 730 convicted criminals. The highest mountain peak in the world is located in Hawaii. The height of the underwater volcano Mauna Kea, including its underwater part, allows it to surpass Everest by almost 2 kilometers. The United States is, of course, a country of immigrants. About 1 million people come here annually. At the end of the 19th century, 85% of immigrants were from Europe, and a century later, up to 70% came from Asia and Latin America. There are more Mexicans in the USA than any other nationality, over 11 million Indians, around 2.7 million, and Chinese, almost 2.3 million. The largest Chinatown in the Western Hemisphere is located in San Francisco and Manhattan in New York. The most famous place of compact residence of immigrants from the former USSR countries is Brighton Beach in New York's Brooklyn. According to various estimates, 70,000-80,000 Russians live here, as Americans call all immigrants from the territory of the Union. Slavery, known in America since 1619, was abolished by Abraham Lincoln in 1862. Yes, the same person already depicted on the $5 bill. In the famous Silicon Valley, located in the state of California, a huge number of world-renowned high-tech companies are concentrated. The headquarters of companies like YouTube, Apple, Intel, Google, Facebook, Xerox, and others are located here. The USA is the birthplace of skyscrapers. The first home insurance building in Chicago in 1885 and was demolished in 1931. The tallest skyscraper in the USA from the Western Hemisphere, the Freedom Tower in Lower Manhattan, occupies the 7th position in the list of the tallest buildings in the world. In the USA, limited editions of banknotes with enormous denominations up to $100,000 are sealed. However, these banknotes are used only for internal transfers between banks and other financial structures. And this is what an American passport looks like. If you believe the statistics, every 8th American has worked at McDonald's for at least a few days. On the business card of the most famous gangster in American history, Al Capone, it was indicated that he was a furniture salesman. Curiously, according to statistics, Americans with higher education earn on average $1 million more than those without it. Russia has a maritime border with the USA, which runs along the Bering Strait, separating Asia from North America. At its narrowest point, the strait is 86 kilometers wide, but the border is much narrower since each country has its territorial waters. On the American expanses, there are many cities with names like Paris, Moscow, Berlin, St. Petersburg, and so on. It's just that several centuries ago, local settlers liked to name their towns after European capitals. Texas has a unique status. De jure, it is a separate state within the USA, but with certain restrictions. Only Texas has the right to raise its flag alongside the national flag. Many championships, festivals, and other mass events here are called world events. For example, the World Championship of American Football, although other countries do not participate in it, is called the World Championship. Simply put, everything that lies beyond the borders of the home country does not interest many Americans. They really don't care. And this, by the way, is a real big fact. The most dangerous state in the USA, judging by the murder rate, is Louisiana in the south, and the safest is New Hampshire, a small state in the northeast of the country. In 7 American states, atheists are legally barred from holding public office. Today, every 8th American couple met online. The capital of the USA is Washington, although it is not actually called that. Officially, its name is the District of Columbia. There is also a state of Washington, but it is located far from there, in the northwest of the country. About 4% of the world's population are U.S. citizens. The unemployment rate in the USA remains high despite all the efforts of the authorities. The official number of unemployed here is approximately equal to the population of all of Greece. 11 million people. You, of course, immediately thought about unemployment benefits. You can live on it here, of course, but very modestly. Social housing provided by the state is located in areas that quickly turn into criminal ghettos, and it is unsafe to live there. Tensions between different ethnic groups are one of the most acute social problems for the United States. In fact, the official ban on marriages between representatives of different races in this country was lifted only in 1967. And gangs in Los Angeles or New York and many other cities, divided into territories, exist and fight to this day. 1% of the richest citizens of the USA own as much money as 90% of the rest of the population of this country. And the 101st fact, as per Tress Fact, is in our Telegram channel via the link in the description or comments. A link to our Boosty, where there is a lot of exclusive content, an exclusive chat with me and the Zaraz team. And of course, to support us for such wonderful content as we try very hard, like, subscribe, comment on how you liked the video, and see you next time.